Shoes. I look for a comfortable pair of shoes. They say comfortable, these shoes are walking shoes, this and that. Do you recommend any kind of a shoe, especially if you have problems with your feet? What shoes that would you recommend that would be better for a person?
In general, I don't recommend a specific shoe brand, but I do talk about that the shoe should be the proper fit, meaning in length and width. So you should have your feet sized at least once a year, because your feet do change as you age. Everybody, there are kind of landmarks like 30 and it starts pretty young. Like with pregnant women, their feet flatten out and grow a size. So that continues as you age. Things loosen up. They may get flatter, they may get longer, they may get wider. So you should continue to have them measured. That's number one. You don't want them too wide or too long. So another mistake a lot of people make is they'll go up in size to accommodate for wide feet. So if they have a bunion, then they'll buy a shoe a half size or whole size larger.
But it's still narrow, right?
It's still narrow, but sometimes they're a little wider, but now you're moving around in the shoe and you're causing other problems. You look for a shoe with a deep, so say if these are your toes, a deep toe box. So not something that's sloping and doesn't have a lot of room in the toes. Something usually more of a round toe and then in the heel, you want something that's holding onto your heel well. A lot of people have a wide forefoot and a very narrow heel. And so finding a shoe to accommodate both can be difficult. So one solution to that is to take them to the cobbler and have them put in a pad in the heel, because you don't want to buy a shoe. I've had people in too narrow shoes because they say their heel slips when they go wider or to a different style. So, and very, very flat shoes aren't great. You want a little bit of a heel to it so that...
Yeah, that's what my doctor told me, to always have a little bit of a heel on the back, and he said it's much better, for your feet walking. I know we didn't discuss sneakers. Would it be great for if someone walks every day?
Absolutely. And you should have yourself fit at a store that, knows what they're doing, carries a wide selection of shoes, not just one brand. I have, when people come and ask me, often they'll bring in an entire bag of shoes, and we'll go over all of their shoes, and I'll, give my opinion about the different pairs of shoes. I'm a big fan of wearing all kinds of shoes. I wear high heels. I have them on today, but just in moderation. So I rarely say, no, you absolutely can't wear that kind of shoe ever. But as far as walking shoes, I recommend certain stores is usually what I'll do. Yeah. And sometimes I'll recommend a brand like New Balance has a nice, wide, solid walking shoe.
Wide, yeah.
Right. But you do want to, especially if you have any balance issues at all, you want to make sure you get a walking shoe for walking, not a running shoe. Unless you've discussed it with somebody and you need that extra padding or whatever, then...
I know a lot of, I see seniors, they do a lot of walking, but they're in a running shoe. And when I ask them, and they says, well, that's running, so it'll be better if I'm only walking. You know what I mean? And they got to realize that there is a big difference, because I know when you're running, you're pouncing.
Exactly.
And when you're walking, you do need a lot of support. I know my foot, I started with the size 7. By the time I had my children, I gained 3 sizes, from having children. Yeah. So I realized that it's true. Your foot gets bigger. And I know a lot of shoes, the style of shoes now, a lot of them are narrow. And even though you take a certain size, you can't get them in, you're squeezing your foot, and it is a problem. But I just, you're talking about surgery and treating the feet. How would you recommend that?
For me, in everybody, not just senior patients in all ages, surgery to me is the last resort. You have to be in enough pain to be willing to risk the possible complications, the year of swelling that you pretty much always have with any kind of foot surgery, on and off. You'll have swelling for a year, several months of pain. Not usually debilitating, but it's pain. So if you didn't have pain before, then you may not be happy with the result for a while. So I try everything else first in all cases, whether it's bunions and hammer toes or neuromas, which is a swollen nerve in the bottom of the foot. There are all kinds of things, from padding and, like I said, shaving any calluses or corns, injections, orthotics. This is
Those are fun.
Yeah, this is an example of a functional orthotic, which is used for many, many problems, from heel pain to neuromas to bunions, and they're rigid. And then, sorry.
No, it's just that we're running, I want to go over your website. You do have a website that people can go to, and if you want to just, I'd say it a couple of times so they will know, and people will know on your website. Why don't you give us your website?
It's www.bostoncommonpodiatry.com. So it's Boston Common Podiatry, Boston Common, and then podiatry, which is PODIATRY.
And it's .com.
Yeah.
And then they can get information about your practice and about little tidbits and stuff. And I know about these, about having them. Those good for your shoes?
These are very good, and they help. I wear every model. I like this particular brand. They're the same company that makes the custom mades that I need. I wear them in all my shoes. I have all my family and friends in them. And then I just wanted to mention this one real quick. This is for diabetics, because again, diabetics are, a very important part of who we see. So this is a different type of orthotic. It's called accommodative. So meaning it has different densities. It's kind of like a Tempur-Pedic mattress, if you think of it that way, that it adjusts to the different pressure points. So.
Okay, well, the time went by so quick. I just want to thank you for coming in, showing all the things, and hopefully some of the seniors will get little tidbits and learn. And again, she does have the website, and her practice is at Beacon Hill, and you can call the elderly. I'm sorry, Back Bay.
On Beacon Street.
On Beacon Street, a little confusing. But again, thank you for coming. Any questions, any concerns, please feel free to call the Elderly Commission at 617-635-4366. This program will go on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. and Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. And hi, Cookie. Thanks for showing up. And see you next week. Hi.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful